Hey, what's up everyone? I'm at Venice Beach. Anyway, what I'm here to talk about is I'm here to talk about the story of my success. And I'm not trying to, act like Tony Robbins or some shit, but people keep asking me, they want more financial advice and investing and so forth and so on. So I'm here to give it and inspire, motivate, and let everyone know that no matter who the fuck you are, you can accomplish whatever the fuck you want. And, I grew up in low-income housing, welfare, you know what I'm saying? And, at age probably 14, 15, started stealing shit, going to the store, going to 7-Eleven, and, kind of learned that was a way for me to get the shit I needed, the shit I wanted, was to just take that shit, Never got caught, fuck it. This shit's working good. And that was my basic mentality growing up, was that's how I got shit, and I'd say this lasted all the way, probably till I was about 20, and it just escalated, and, stealing from the grocery store as a little kid, kind of escalated to, more serious shit. And, one day I finally realized that karma started to take effect, and no matter how much I stole, what I stole, I was never gonna fucking get ahead. This shit was just no matter however much I took, I was lost. It was just never ending. And if you think about it, all those people out there that have that mentality, they never fucking get ahead, ever. No matter how much money they come across, they're broke, and it's the way it is. So when I was about 20, that's when it hit me. And what was crazy is I ran into an older lady who was a friend of the family, and she sat down and started talking to me about mutual funds. And I was just sitting there thinking, what the fuck is she talking about? I don't want to hear this fucking bullshit. But I was polite. She's part of the family, so I listened. And I actually became very intrigued about mutual funds. And she was telling me that you could retire in 10 years, if you invest right, and you're very consistent. And I was thinking about it, and at the time I was working, I had a shitty job bouncing, making whatever, probably $10 an hour. And everything she said just started to make more and more sense to me. So she said, go see my financial advisor. And I'm 20 years old. I don't know shit about nothing. And believe it or not, I fucking went. And it was a trip, because that's just, that's nothing I ever popped in my head, And I went, I sat down, I talked to him, and, he told me what he thinks I should do and what my plan should be, and, figure out how much we have to invest each month, which was nothing. We're talking like, investing $100, $150 a month. That's all I could afford. But he was explaining to me, how it works. And this is back in the internet days when shit was fucking flying. Technology was out of control. The mutual funds that I got into, you were making over 100% return back then. It ain't like that shit now. Now you're making like, maybe 6 to 12% or some bullshit. You ain't making shit. And that's if you're making anything. You could be losing. So it was crazy back then when it came to the stock market and investing. It was just out of control. That was the time to do it. People were investing in these new companies and becoming millionaires overnight. And so, I invested in 3 companies. I think it was Oppenheimer and what was it? T. Rowe Price, and there was one more. But basically, it was 2 technology and then Oppenheimer. But my money started growing. So I started to become like kind of obsessed with putting more money in. And then I started doing a little research on my own, and I found out what makes up a mutual fund. What is a mutual? I didn't know what the fuck it was. I was just, I can make money. So, I figured out that it's, certain stocks they put together in a portfolio is the mutual fund. So some of the stocks, were doing better than the other stocks. So, logical thinking is, why don't I just fucking invest in those companies that, are really fucking moving, higher risk but more money. At that time, there was no fucking risk in technology. When the internet started, there was no risk. It was just fucking money. And so, I pulled the money out of the mutual funds, and I started investing straight into the stocks, and started making more money. I was like, holy shit. And, I just became more and more obsessed every day. And I'd say probably within maybe 6 months, I started day trading, And what's funny is I knew nothing about day trading. I didn't go to school. No one told me about it. No one talked to me about it. No one educated me. But my logical thinking was this. Okay, just listen to what I have to say, and this is what popped in my head. I would watch, say I would, I'd invest in Intel, right? That was one of my big money makers, was Intel. So let's say I invested in Intel, and I would watch, and every day, let's say Intel was at, 50, the price was $50. That stock would fluctuate from 50 to 55 all day long. 50, 53, 51, 54, 52, 55, 50, 53, 54, 50, 56, constantly all day. This is what it does, up and down, up and down, up and down. Well, when you day trade, you can lock in your buy and you can lock in your sell. So, I could basically buy the stock at 50 and then sell it at 54. Not be greedy and go for 55 or 56. Just go 54. So I know I'm going to sell that shit, right? So I put in my buy at 50. When it goes down to 50, boom, it buys it, right? When it goes up to 50, what was it, 54? When it goes up to 54, boom, it sells it, bam. So I just made money, right? So then what I would do, I do the same thing right after. I do the same thing. I buy it at 50 again, sell it at 54. Within, I'm not even fucking bullshitting, within 5 minutes, boom, sell it. So I would sit at the computer and do this shit. It's like gambling, but I was making a shitload of money. I wasn't losing. I was only dealing with blue chip companies. I was dealing with companies that are not going to, Apple, let's say I was dealing with companies that, are just going to keep fucking climbing, so there wasn't any risk involved. And it got to the point where I had 10 different stocks. And those were my golden stocks that were 100%, in my opinion, would never fucking crash, go bankrupt. Nothing could happen. They were just fucking strong as fuck. And I would sit there and figure out what the ratio is every day. Maybe, like I said, maybe this one's 80 to 87. So I'd buy at 81, sell at 85 maybe, went up 4. And what happens is as you get more money in your account, you can buy more shares, and then when you buy and sell, you make more money. So I kept, kept track of every little transaction I made and how much I made on each transaction. I was very, very anal about, what I was doing. And I'm not even joking, every week I was making more money. It was just climbing. I'm like, what the I just came up with this shit on my own in my head. It just made sense to me. I'm like, fuck, why don't I try this? And I'm saying, that ain't day trading. When you go to school to be a day trader, that's not what day trading is. What I was doing was gambling. But see, back in that day, like I said, the stocks just kept going up. It was a gold mine back then. It's not like that now. But I discovered that gold mine. And, I sat at home every day, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. while the market was open, and just sat there and fucking gambled all day on the computer, and I would be fucking screaming my ass off on how much money I was making. And, that was the start. And once I got a taste of making a lot of money at such a young age, I was fucking hooked. So I continued to day trade, and then, I bought my first house. Real estate market was out of fucking control. Again, luck of the draw. I was just lucky. The market was climbing like a motherfucker. So, within a couple of years, I sold that house, made a couple $100,000, and bought a bigger house. Market's still climbing. Still doing some trading, but not as much. I started getting involved in other things. I started, doing commercials. That people don't know that I did 38 national commercials. And, back then the commercials were different, okay? The way you get paid on a commercial is residuals. How many times they show that fucking commercial is how much money you make. Now, 15 years ago, they would do a commercial and they would show that shit for a year straight. That commercial will play all the time on TV. So you could easily make $100,000 on one fucking commercial, easily. It ain't like that nowadays. Nowadays, they film a commercial, they play it for 3 weeks, and the shit's gone. So, now you make, I would say, average somewhere between $3,000, and at the very most you ever make is probably about $20,000 on a commercial. And that's if you're a principal. You got to be a principal, Extra, you don't get shit. You just get the day pay. But you know, it's you know, it's still good money. But I'm saying back in the day, you know, fucking commercials are out of control. So I did 38 national commercials. I made over $2 million just on those commercials. So that was something else I got into. And I started getting tatted, and I got tatted up. And back then, I hate to admit it, but I was basically like, you know, the pretty boy, dumb fucking bodybuilder. That's what I was. Every part I had was, I was like the good-looking fucking dumb bodybuilder. You know, and you know, it's embarrassing to me that I played those parts. You know, I watched those fucking commercials for that. What the fuck is that gym? Motherfuckers. Planet Fitness. You know, and I watched that commercial, you know, the bodybuilders, you know, and they're making fun of them and shit, and you know, I did that shit, you know, back then. That's my part. My part was a dumb motherfucking bodybuilder, and you know, but hey, I made a lot of fucking money playing that part, and you know, looking back right now, would I do that? No. Right now, if they offered me however much money it was, you know, to play that dumb fucking bodybuilder, I wouldn't do it in a million years. You know, just wouldn't do it. Not worth it. But you know, back then, fuck it. So basically, you know, still doing the commercial stuff. Did a couple movies. People know I've been in like 7 movies. My best part was Planet of the Apes, where I was on that movie for 9 months straight. I worked 6 days a week on that movie, and I had 3 very good roles as Black Army Gorilla, of course, and I also did the stunts for the Black Army Gorillas. A lot of the stunts, most of the stunts. Now the thing is funny thing is I wasn't a stuntman, but what happened is when we went to the makeup artist who was in charge of deciding what the apes are gonna look like, he pulled me out of the crowd and said, this motherfucker right here is the perfect Black Army Gorilla. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's much of a compliment. I don't really think I look like a fucking gorilla, but you know, hey, you got me the part. And you know, he's explaining, you know, the forehead bulge and the way my elbows are out. I mean, it was more than just muscles, you know, it was a lot to it. And for whatever reason, I had what he was looking for, and that got me the really good part on the movie, because in his head, I had the best visual of an ape, you know? And so on that movie alone, I'm still getting checks, you know, and it's not, you know, I probably made maybe close to 300,000 on that movie, but that was one of the most incredible experiences in my life, was traveling around. We went to Hawaii, went to Ridgecrest, you know, we went everywhere filming that movie, and it was a fucking experience, and it was incredible. And we were getting golden time probably at least twice a week. People that don't know what golden time is basically, I believe it's when you work 16 hours straight, you start getting paid your daily fee per hour. So the daily fee was, I want to say somewhere around $930. Now we were getting $930 an hour, you know, which back then that was fucking exciting shit, man. I'm like, fuck, I'm making $930 an hour right now. This is crazy. And I'm sitting on my ass doing nothing, waiting for them to call me to go do my shot. You know, eating fucking whatever I want, order whatever I want, they bring it to me, bring it to my trailer. So that was an experience. Now the real estate, back to the real estate, my second house, what I did is at the peak of the market, which again was a fucking lucky, just lucky. The market had gone up, it was high, and I read that book, you know, what is it? Poor Dad, Rich Dad. You guys remember that book? Came out probably, I'd say, about maybe 10 years ago, and everyone was talking about it. It was a fucking new thing. You gotta read this book, gotta read this book. So I read it. It's basically talks about real estate, educates you on real estate, educates you on how to buy houses with other people's money. Don't use your own money. Don't lock yourself in. You know, don't do that 15-year, you know, pay your mortgage off. It's a waste of money. You know, you want to pay as little as much as you can. And you know, it was a really, really good book. And you know, it's a little outdated, but it's still a good book if you haven't read it. And you know, I read that book and I was intrigued, and I did exactly what he said. You know, I went to the bank, I refinanced my house, and I pulled out 80% of the equity. You know, and back then, 80% of my equity was right around 600,000. So I took that 600,000, and on a tip of one of my training clients, I was training people in the mornings, I went to Georgetown, Texas, right? Now, again, this is maybe 8 years ago. Georgetown, Texas. It's 20 minutes outside of Austin. Georgetown, Texas 8 years ago was nothing. There was nothing there except for the college. But there was a lot of shit planned. And this person knew the inside scoop of what the fuck the plan was going on for the next 10 years, of what they're going to be putting, what they're going to be doing, what they're going to be building. He had the inside scoop, and he said, man, he goes, I'm telling you, this is the best investment you'll ever have as far as real estate. So I took that fucking tip, and I went there with, you know, $600,000, and I ended up buying 2 triplexes and 3 houses, believe it or not. And my houses were, you know, somewhere around 110,000, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2 car garage, you know, maybe 6,000 square foot lot, you know, pretty good. And the triplexes, you know, is 3 units in 1 building, and each unit was 3 bedroom, 3 bath. And bought them, rented them out, you know, hired someone to manage the properties for me. They charged me 8% and just got checks every month in the mail. Now, again, it's not as good as it sounds. And from reading that book, things weren't the way they sounded, because, you know, people move out, you got to repaint the fucking walls, the carpet, you got to clean the carpet. You know, the person managing my place said we need to get ceramic floors in here so we don't got to do the carpet every time they move out. So you need to get ceramic floors put in. So I had to get ceramic floors put in every single fucking, you know, unit. And, you know, it's costly. You know, next thing you know, one of my triplexes needs to be replastered. The whole outside needs replastered. How much is that? It's going to be about 30 grand. 30 grand, what the fuck? I pull that out of my pocket and just give it to you? And, you know, so it's not, real estate, in my opinion, is not as good investment as everybody thinks it is. You know, still make money, but, you know, the money you put out to upkeep the properties and people coming and going, you know, you can end up breaking even and not making any fucking money, which is a bitch. Now, yeah, the equity might go up, but it might not. It's a gamble. You know, now the equity in Georgetown has gone up. That shit has not gone down. It just keeps going up. It's going up slow, but it's going up. So, you know, it's a good thing for retirement. You know, I got those properties, whatever. That was the end of the real estate. You know, I'm still renting those out, still making some money. It's not really a headache because someone manages it for me. But I will not buy any more real estate for the rest of my life. I am done buying shit, you know, right? It's just, I'm over it. I'm over it, you know? From here on out, I'm just gonna lease, move whenever I want, live wherever I want, you know, fuck this fucking, you know, buying shit, upkeeping. And the thing is, people don't understand is when you buy something, you live there, you want to make it the best it can be. It's like when you have a nice car, you want to get rims and tires and this and that, and, you know, put a fucking blower on it. Next thing you know, you spend money you're not going to get back. You know, and that's what I did. That's what I do when I get a house. I start fucking wanting to make it nicer. So I put this and I put that, and then when you go to sell it, you know, you ain't going to get that shit back. And that's a lesson learned, you know, because I've sold my houses that I've lived in. I buy them, sell them, buy another house, sell it, buy another house, sell it. You know, I don't rent them out. You know, the renting out is just a pain in the ass. So that's the story on real estate. Now, you know, the whole supplement industry, the business, you know, that was something, again, I just stumbled across. You know, Mutant gave me a phone call. I think hit me up on Facebook and said they're interested in sponsoring me as an athlete. And, you know, bodybuilding was my life back in the day. I lived to be a bodybuilder. You know, it was all about, my life was bodybuilding and making money. And that's all, that was my main concern. And it pretty much still is my main concern, you know? And, you know, I told them, I said, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't compete. I'm not involved in bodybuilding. Like, I don't even fucking really care for bodybuilding anymore. You know, I did my thing, and, you know, I'm kind of over it. You know, and they said, we don't want a bodybuilder. We want you. You know, you have a unique look. You have a different look. We like the way you look. You know, we'd like to work with you. And I'm like, okay, tell me about the contract. Tell me what you're offering me. You know, so they offered me, you know, pretty decent deal, and, you know, and the traveling and the expos, and, you know, as a bodybuilder, I never got to do that shit. You know, I was never, you know, a big known bodybuilder. You know, people kind of knew who I was on the national level, but, you know, not really. No one ever asked to take a picture with me, you know, as far as at bodybuilding shows. You know, outside in the real world, at the mall or something, you know, yeah, that should happen all the time. But, you know, no, in the bodybuilding world, it's never really, you know, known, you know, so to say. So it was kind of a new thing, and I'm like, you know, it actually sounds kind of fucking fun, you know, to be at an expo, and, you know, and so we did some video shoots, and videos took off, and from there it just grew, you know, and, you know, that I had the idea, you know, fuck, you know, I've always wanted to do a supplement line. I've always had my ideas. I always want to come out with the right shit. I want to give people the truth, tell people the truth, and, you know, this is my chance, you know, to fucking let people know what the fuck is up, you know, because I spent, you know, all my teenage years buying weight gainers and fucking buying protein powders and, you know, spending my money or stealing that shit, whatever. And you know, it took me about 10 years to realize that, you know, real bodybuilders, Mr. Olympias, they're eating fucking eight meals a day, healthy food. That's what they're doing. You know, I was eating fucking In-N-Out and fucking McDonald's, you know, and then fucking drinking weight gainers and protein powders, and I thought I was doing the right thing. You know, my idea was taking as many calories as you can and take as much weight gainer and protein powder as you can throughout the day and fucking train as hard and long as you can, and that's how you get big. You know, and I had that shit backwards. And every teenager out there, any kid out there 16 years old is buying weight gainer. I guarantee it, you know, and that's why I want that message to get out there that fuck weight gainer, eat the fucking food. Food is better. You don't need no bullshit garbage. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject we've already talked about a million times because you're sick of that shit. So, supplement company started that, and it's going great. I'm having a blast. And I have, right now, honestly, I have 4 other businesses. I have a business plan written out for all 4 of them. I'm ready to go, but I just don't have the time. I can't take away what I'm doing with my other things, you know, to focus on any other businesses right now. But, you know, that's the way my mind works. Is, you know, you can never do enough. No matter who you are, you can always do more. You can always become better. You know, you can always become more successful, but you have to be driven for your mind to think that way every single fucking day. You know, and what happens is people get comfortable. You know, they get stuck in a 9-to-5 job. They're making enough money to get by, right? And what do? They just stay there. Stay at that job for the rest of their fucking life. You know, they never think, fuck, why don't I try to find something better? And while I'm working here, I'm gonna work on something better. You know, and then I can go over to something better. And then when I'm here, what can I do that's better? In other words, every day your mind is thinking, what can I do that's better? What can I do that's better? What can I do that's better? Rather than just being comfortable and just going to work 9 to 5, you know, and not ever thinking about improving your life or being more successful. And it's the same thing with bodybuilding. You know, you have to constantly be motivated to go in the gym and kill that shit, get on that cardio, stick to that fucking diet. It's the same shit with success. You got to be motivated to continually, 24 hours a day, be thinking about what the fuck you can do to be better. You know, and there's a lot of people out there that, you know, have made it in certain areas of life, bodybuilding, this, that, but when it comes to just pure financial freedom and success, you know, they haven't made it. And what I don't understand is, in my opinion, that should be the #1 priority. You know, would I rather have muscles, or would I rather know I have enough money to never have to think about money, never have to worry about money for the rest of my fucking life? What would I choose? The muscles or the fucking success? It's a no-brainer for me, man. I don't give a fuck about the muscles. You know, it's something I enjoy doing and so forth, but, you know, the success and knowing that you never have to ever think about where money's gonna come from, how you're gonna pay for this, how you're gonna pay for that, to me is the best feeling in the fucking world. And like I've said a million times, anyone out there that's competing in a bodybuilding contest, if you took all that effort you put into that show and you put that into any kind of venture, business venture whatsoever, and you put that much effort in, I guarantee you would succeed in that business. No doubt about it, because I used to compete in bodybuilding. And honestly, I don't even know if, I think I still to this day put more into a bodybuilding contest than I put into any business venture I've done. Seriously. I mean, that's fucked up, but it's the truth. You know, when I competed for a show, I was fucking training, you know, 2 hours a day, doing cardio twice a day, eating 10 times a day, you know, putting a needle in my ass, you know, making sure I got enough sleep. It was constant. Everything was about that show. You know, and that's all I thought about, and that's all, you know, and that's what I did. And, you know, bodybuilding is 24 hours a day. You know, it's in your head 24 hours a day. Now, if you could have that same exact mentality towards success, it'd be a no-brainer. You could easily do it. But for whatever reason, man, you know, a lot of people, they don't see, you know, being successful or financial freedom. Maybe it's not, maybe in their head it's not a possibility. Maybe in their head, this is just nothing I can ever accomplish. And that's the first mistake, because then you've already ruined everything. You know, so the first thing you have to do is realize that you can fucking accomplish anything you fucking want. And anybody can. And I'm telling you, man, I'm the last motherfucker in the world that should be doing as well as I am. And like I said, man, I grew up broke. I didn't have no mentors, you know, telling me I need to go to college. I didn't have no mentors, you know, explaining anything about, you know, businesses or making money or anything. You know, that wasn't even, never even brought up to me as a kid. Never talked about anything about being successful or, trying to be the best you can be. So I'm just saying that, you know, if I could do it, you can fucking do it. So anyway, I hope this helps. I hope this motivates, and see you guys.